just kind of sum up the spring showcase today, what you liked, what you didn't like.
Well, I think both sides of the ball, guys competed. There was plays to be made. I thought Chasen did a nice job leading the offense. We had some third down situations. Now, to be honest, our defense wasn't allowed to pressure, so you expect the offense to get some conversions there, but they have to execute, and they did it. I thought we protected pretty well today, which was good to see, and again, we didn't pressure. I thought Aaron Peck made some big-time catches. It was fun to see Dontel James really run the ball hard there, particularly late. Up front, it's hard to tell a lot till you watch the video, but I thought, we protected the quarterback pretty well. Tackled decent, but we had some guys make some guys miss. I think Keyshawn made somebody miss out here. We've got playmakers on both sides. In a spring game, number one, you want to keep everybody healthy, and number two, you want to see who's going to make things happen when it's really live.
Now that we're done with spring and kind of based on today, how will you approach the quarterback situation and when you make a decision? And is there someone that you're leaning towards at this point?
We'll meet with the offensive staff and go through all the stats and make a determination about where we want to go from there. I anticipate we're still going to keep it open until the fall, the first couple weeks of camp. Coming out of spring, Chasen's a step ahead of everybody else. But I like what Ford got done this spring. I think he made big strides. And Kilton's still making some plays. He's got to get a little bit more consistent.
Talk a little bit more about Aaron Peck and how good it is to see him out here making some plays and looking like he's pretty healthy at this point.
Yeah, when he first came back, the first couple of days he was a little rusty, wasn't quite in shape, which is understandable. When you have a foot injury, you're not running like you should. But he really improved over the last month. Today, the last couple practices that he's been out here, the last scrimmage and this one, he looked explosive, making plays, catching the ball away from his body, which is, a strength of his. He's a big, strong, physical receiver, and then doing things after the catch. And last fall during training camp, I thought he was really ready to explode and have a great season. He got injured, lost a year. I think that hunger has really paid off the offseason. I think he's going to be a playmaker for us this fall.
Tim, are we able to get the full picture with Chasen when the defense can't really pressure or hit him?
No, it's as close as you want to be while being smart. There's other times where I blew the whistle. He probably would have made a guy miss out in space. So, yeah, you don't get the exact picture, but he lines up for us next fall, and we don't hurt him in the springtime.
Are you concerned at all about the offense at this point, or do you feel like this is kind of what you expected, with the learning curve with the new offensive coordinator and everything?
No, I think we're about on track. We've got 29 practices in the fall, but more importantly than that, when we have our player run practices between now and in August when we report, it's a time for those guys to really start gelling, really start playing fast. For all that we've gotten in, I think our guys executed decent. We've got opportunities to get multiple playmakers, the ball in space. I think Coach Keeson, our offense staff, do a really nice job with that. Now it's a matter of polishing things. We've got all of our base stuff in. It's about repping it to where we play really fast.
And on the defensive side of the ball, what do you notice as a coach that maybe is a little different now with Coach Ward, now that you've seen in a spring showcase type of scenario?
Well, I think our guys are playing really hard and fast. When you're not thinking, you can play fast. It's good to see guys make plays because we didn't pressure today. We're playing a lot of our base technique. You got to whip a block and go make a play. I think we tackled decent today. When balls were completed, I think we had guys on them, which is what you want to see. There's not a whole lot of wide open guys that are making plays. You limited the big plays. The big plays that happened were because someone made someone miss, and we have multiple guys there. I think defensively we're getting back to playing a swarming defense, and you can do that when you play with confidence. We got a bunch of guys that played a lot of snaps last fall, so you play with more confidence the more you're out here.
And one thought, I asked you about DeJounte earlier this week, the local guy. Another local guy on defense, George Helmuth comes up with a big play. How much fun is it for you to see those local guys making an impact in front of fans like that?
Well, it's awesome. Both those guys, it's really important that they're Bulldogs. Play here in front of their family and friends. So both those guys work as hard as anybody on our team. George played a bunch for us last year as a redshirt freshman. He's playing with more confidence. It was great to see him make a play, especially in a 2-minute situation where if you can get the ball turned over, it's a big-time critical play, especially down in the red zone. And you saw the burst that DeJounte showed all spring. We're going to find ways to get him touches.
Coach, what's the extent of Mitchell's injury? I know he got back in the scrimmage towards the end.
Yeah, we'll see, but it's not. We don't anticipate it being very, significant since he did come back and play. Obviously, he'll get treatment afterwards, and we'll follow up tomorrow.
And then from here, you have a week off, is it correct? Then maybe some conditioning starts.
Yeah, we right now we're finishing our spring football phase, and next week starts an NCAA mandated what do they call those phases?
Rest period of some sort.
It's a rest period, but there's a name for it. I apologize, I can't think of it off the top of my head. But anyways,
Dead period.
well, it's a discretionary period.
Okay, all right.
It's one of those big words that I always use. But discretionary period next week, so they'll have a chance to relax. They'll have just academic meetings with our coaches, but there won't be any football next week. But that following week, we start our strength and conditioning program back up. So we'll ramp up a little bit, trying to get some more, power out of our guys, and hopefully some more weight on our bigger guys, and then let them finish strong for academics. Give a couple weeks off, and we'll start in the summer, and it'll be here before we blink.
And you hope to have a coach, strength and conditioning coach, in place at that point, correct?
Absolutely. I'm in discussions right now with a few guys, and hopefully we'll have that ironed up here by the end of next week.
What did you see from Dontel James this spring that leads you to believe that? I know that position's not settled yet, but what did he show you?
Well, I think he's improved. He still needs to work on keeping his pad level down. He tends to run a little bit high, but as you saw today, he's a powerful guy. When you're running Fed tempo stuff and you're just tagging off on him, he's down. But he's the kind of guy that when you go up tempo, at 220, 225 pounds, you get in that third and fourth quarter, you hand him the ball downhill, he's going to push that pile. He's going to run through tackles that maybe the first or second quarter they get wore down a little bit. He's a guy that can finish a game for you.
Has his attitude all been different on coming back here after a second chance for him?
Yeah, I think when he was here he had a good attitude. He was a little bit depressed because he had gotten hurt both years and didn't get a chance to play. But since he's been back, he's taken it kind of like, hey, I got a new lease on life. He's been working out every day with a smile on his face, happy to be here. He's well loved by his teammates. And he's a guy that can talk to those guys that go through some dark periods, especially young guys that maybe don't think they're getting noticed or things aren't working out perfectly. He can talk to them about what he went through and why he wanted to be back.
How would you describe the team's identity right now?
I think it's still developing. I like our mindset on both sides of the ball. I think that defensively we're playing faster. We've created a bunch of takeaways. We only had, I think, one today. But when you play fast, you play with confidence, you have an opportunity to do that. Offensively, I think you saw today, we're clearly more committed to run the football. When you can do that, you can throw the ball in different situations off of the run action. Because if a defense has to commit to stopping your run, it's a lot easier to throw the football. So I think we're capable of doing that. I like how our offensive line has developed. I think we're getting a more physical personality when you do that by running the football. And on the flip side of that, when you have to stop the run, it makes you more physical defensively.
Guys, let's let Coach go.